Okay, you've made your collage papers. So now what? Now what you need is a surface, substrate, something to apply your papers to. So in this case, I'm using this paper that I often use, which is a Fabriano drawing and watercolour paper, 240 grams per square metre, 113 pounds, but you can use any heavy watercolour paper. Now here's an example of a background that I've made just by applying the watercolours. And here's another one. I like that one. But once you've applied the watercolours, you can take it a stage further by adding acrylic paint if you want to add a bit more dimension. Also, you might like to consider the colours of the papers that you've painted. I mean, this is blues, yellows and greens. So I've chosen a yellow and blue green background for this one. And you might have chosen some pinks or lilacs or another colour palette. So you might want to bear this in mind when you're going to decide on painting your substrate. So here we go. Let's apply some water. You don't need to be too precious about this because you're going to be covering it up with collage papers anyway. It should just be a guide for inspiration for when you start to apply your papers. Now let's see. Where should I start? Can't go wrong with blue, can you really? Blue for the sky and green for the grass, or yellow for sand. Now, how does one make a purple? A bit of red maybe? Pinky purpley sky. Let's have some more red down here. And a bit more blue. Darker purple. The front. As I say, this is just a starting point for you. I think that'll do. Let's try another one. Let's go the more traditional way again. With a blue sky and a green foreground. You might want your collages to look more fantasy and mythical, or you might want them to look more realistic. Let's try with that nice, I do like this colour blue. And let's try this green. Oh, cat's at the window. Well timed. Whenever I set up this equipment, he's at the window ready to come in. Let's have a little bit of, what colour is this? Oh no, this one. What colour is that now? Oh well. Looks a bit like a viridian, doesn't it? A viridian green shade. A little bit of wool. A little bit of creativity there. Oh dear. So that's another background. And excuse me while I just let the cat in the window. Come on then. Come on. Come on. No, not on my artwork. Oh dear. Go on. Down you go. Go on. That side. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, where was we? Okay. Now this is one that I've previously done. It's dry now. And this is just watercolour. Applied in a similar way to what I've just shown you. Just sploshed around really, not too much care put into doing it. So what I'm going to do now is add some acrylic paint for some different effects. So let's try this yellow, cadmium yellow. This is by Golden. Let's see what happens if I, oops, just get a brush here, just to allow it, just to help it to drip. Now let's put some paper underneath that. Just let it drip down. Just let it do its own thing. Find its own pathway. And I think we could also add some, what's this one? Green gold. A bit of green gold. This is where the paper starts to buckle because it's got a bit too wet. But it doesn't matter, because once it's dry we can press it under some books or something, flatten it out. So we can help it along its way a little bit, give it a bit of a shake. And also, just might want to, oh, stiff as a brush. So all this is about playing really and experimentation. And it doesn't really matter what this background is like because you're going to collage over it. And these videos are really just to give you some ideas. Spark off ideas in your own imagination. Okay, that's another one. And this one, I'm tempted just to leave it as it is and not actually go over with acrylic paint. So I'm going to leave that one now. And what else do I need to do? Well, I picked up that purple one and dripped it on that one by accident. But it's actually made quite a good effect. So I don't mind that at all. And here, we've got to start off another page, haven't we? And the cat's coming back again. Oh dear. Gizmo, come here. Come here. Come here, just for a minute. Just had to move the cat out of the way for a minute. So this will be a start of another background that I've just made a mess on with all those drips. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet, so I'm just going to let it dry. Right, once the paint is dry, you can add more detail with a waterproof fine liner pen, or you can wait until you've applied the collage. So when the paints are completely dry, that's when the fun part begins and we can build up a collaged picture.